Coming up next, after the deadly school shooting in Nashville, some central Pennsylvania schools had security scares of their own this week.
Plus, the search for a cause after a powerful explosion kills people at a Pennsylvania chocolate factory as co-workers struggle to cope.
We just don't have no words for it. We don't know what to say. Our hearts goes out to the families.
And how new social media laws in Utah could ignite change in other parts of the country. The Centre County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Alexis Yoder.
And I'm Zach Kay. Thanks for joining us for the Centre County Report. Our top story, police are investigating after schools across Pennsylvania were targeted by so-called swatting this week, facing threats and false reports of active shooters. Natalie Calzatoni reports.
Students evacuated here at Bellefonte High School, lockdowns in Altoona and Pittsburgh, all after a string of computer-generated calls made false reports about active shooters at Pennsylvania schools. Bellefonte Area High School here behind me was one of the schools that received one of these computer-generated threats. Students were evacuated and picked up by their parents to ensure their safety. The so-called swatting calls have been pouring into schools and colleges across the country for months, raising concerns among law enforcement and others.
Obviously, I can't tell you all the investigative techniques. However, we're being assisted by the FBI, the State College Office.
These scares are happening with schools already on edge after recent shootings, including this week at a Christian school in Nashville. Penn State student Rachel Lewis says her Pittsburgh high school was one of those targeted with threats.
It was really scary. I was about to cry. I just had a pit in my stomach, because I went there and, I know a lot of the people still in that community.
You just start problem solving and start thinking about what do we need to do, how do we need to do that, are our kids locked down, are things going okay, and then you just are here to help the police and keep our kids safe.
Bellefonte police say they're grateful for the quick actions by cops, kids, and school staff.
If there would have been an assailant or two in there, that these kids' chances of survival were, greatly increased by their actions of their leaders, the teachers and the students themselves.
In Bellefonte, I'm Natalie Calzatoni for the Centre County Report.
One FBI official has said they believe the recent wave of threats focused on schools may be coming from outside the country.
Federal safety inspectors are still looking for the cause of an explosion that killed 7 people and destroyed a Pennsylvania chocolate factory. Reporter Morgan Bowl is here with the latest. Morgan?
1 week ago today, a powerful blast at the R.M. Palmer Company in West Reading leveled the building and killed 7 people. Investigators have said natural gas was involved in the explosion, and they're now examining a natural gas pipeline for fractures and other damage as they gather evidence. The powerful explosion at a chocolate factory could be heard and felt for miles around Reading, about 50 miles northwest of Philadelphia. Rescue crews used heat imaging equipment and dogs to search for any possible survivors. In the end, 7 died and others were hurt. The family that owns the candy company said the loss of their employees will be felt forever. One employee struggled to describe their emotions.
We just don't have no words for it. We don't know what to say. Our hearts goes out to the families.
Teams spent days using heavy equipment to carefully comb through wreckage and pull debris from the site.
The focus shifts on the daunting task of cleaning up the aftermath. The cleanup process has begun, which is expected to be difficult and a difficult and lengthy process. It will involve the removal of debris, clearing the area, and making sure that buildings are safe to occupy.
Now the focus is on what caused the blast. Some workers told relatives they smelled natural gas before the explosion, although the gas utility, UGI, said it had received no reports of a gas leak. Safety investigators are examining a natural gas pipeline for fractures or other problems. A preliminary report on the explosion could be available in about 3 weeks, but the final report could take up to 2 years. A vigil will be held to honor the victims in front of the West Reading Fire Department tonight at 7:30.
Thanks, Morgan. And the investigation goes on after a floor collapse at a Western Pennsylvania college. It happened at a house party in an off-campus apartment near Indiana University of Pennsylvania. It left about a dozen students injured last weekend. Many managed to escape the debris through a broken window. Township officials visited the apartments this week and met with the property manager. They're working with a contractor and engineer to assess the damage. and construction to permanently repair a collapsed wall in Bellefonte is set to begin Monday. The project will take about 4 months, and it'll mean detours for drivers. Northbound traffic traveling toward downtown Bellefonte will detour to Stony Batter and then to Route 144 South Spring Street to High Street. Southbound traffic heading to State College will use the northbound lane on South Water Street. The project may cause 15-minute traffic stoppages too.
Geisinger Health has expansion plans for its clinic at Grays Woods in Patton Township. The first step would add 2 floors to the facility this year, but the project is estimated to take 14 more years in full. With multiple renovations there since 2005, this one would add more than 21,000 square feet to the clinic. The next phase would extend Abigail Lane and likely require adding a traffic signal at the I-99 and Grays Woods Boulevard intersection.
More expansion plans are in the works, this time at University Park Airport. They've added a new route to Charlotte, North Carolina that runs on Saturdays only. Officials want to make it 6 days a week, but the airport needs to make big changes to accommodate those future plans. AJ Sisson reports.
Passenger numbers at University Park Airport are rebounding quickly after COVID, since their record of 173,000 flyers in 2019. Airport officials say their plan to attract more flights will return numbers to pre-pandemic levels.
There is a proposed project to look at the feasibility of adding passenger boarding bridges, to benefit passengers and the airlines.
Roger showed me this concept design of what was happening at University Park Airport and what they're planning. But there's a lot going on here, so let's take a closer look. Currently, there's room for 3 planes at the boarding gates. Passengers must board planes by crossing the tarmac and climbing a staircase. But the plan is to increase that capacity to 6, with these 3 gates using boarding bridges. They'll have to add to the control tower end of the building, which could cause traffic problems.
We will have to work around the air traffic coming in and out, so it will affect it some, especially when we start installing the actual boarding bridge on the ramp space.
The project itself could begin construction in the next year, with hopes that it'll be done in the next 9 months. In Benner Township, I'm AJ Sisson for the Center County Report.
The planning for the project costs upwards of $150,000. When asked, officials were unsure how much the total project cost would be.
How much oversight should parents have about their kids' social media? That question has led to new laws in Utah, and other states are considering similar laws on setting limits. Reporter Hannah Markovich takes a closer look.
2 new bills signed into law by Utah Governor Spencer Cox limit the use of social media for kids and teens. Some, like Penn State Media Studies professor Matt Jordan, see it as a positive.
And it's a good first step toward having a more robust conversation as a community, as a democracy, about how we want to deal with this really powerful force.
Powerful and potentially harmful. Internet safety website ChildGuard reports 88% of teens say they've seen someone be cruel to others on social media. The number of sex assault cases related to social media sites has jumped 300%. And 67% of teens say they know how to hide what they do online from their parents.
We are, as parents, all you want is your kid to be happy and safe. But, I know that it's a very fine balance, because the more you control, the more there is a desire to get away from your parents.
Utah's new laws prohibit children younger than 18 from using any social media platform, unless they have parental consent. The laws also have a strong timeline of no social media use between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m.
Parents in Utah are concerned about their children's safety, especially on social media platforms like these. This is why Utah implemented the law to allow parents full access to their children's social media accounts.
But the new laws aren't without controversy. Some people think it's overreach by government. Others say the laws don't go far enough.
American social media companies have been used to facilitate harm in tremendous ways. So let's talk about federal legislation to ensure the safety and security of everyone who uses social media.
Just when you get to the age of 18 doesn't mean that we care about you as people anymore, is not a very good way to think about the seriousness of this problem as well.
While Pennsylvania doesn't have any proposed laws like this, other states are considering them, including New Jersey, Arkansas, Texas, Ohio, and Louisiana. In State College, I'm Hannah Markovich for the Center County Report.
Some social media companies are planning to sue before the laws officially take effect in March 2024.
It's been a chilly week, but will it finally warm up this weekend? We'll check the forecast.
Plus, a historic Pennsylvania amusement park may be facing a delayed opening because of security concerns. Also coming up, trout season begins tomorrow, but these days the number of people fishing is dropping. We look into why.
A Western PA amusement park's opening for the new season may be delayed. Kennywood has been under scrutiny since last fall after a shooting there. The Allegheny County DA called the park unsafe and is threatening to delay the April 22nd opening unless it finishes security improvements.
The Bellefonte YMCA is cutting its competitive swim team that draws kids ages 5 through 18 from across Center County. According to the Center Daily Times, many of the 45 swimmers and their parents say they're confused and angry with the news. The Y decided to cut the team after failing to find a qualified head coach to replace one who retired. Swimmers have the option to join the State College YMCA team.
For many people, spring in Pennsylvania means fishing, and the trout season begins tomorrow. But in Center County, like many places, they're seeing declining sales of fishing licenses. Reporter John Drager is live along the water with more. John?
Thanks, Zach. I'm right next to a small creek here in State College as fishers are anticipating dropping their lines into the water for the start of trout season this Saturday. However, less anglers are heading out to the Pennsylvania waters, and I took a dive to see why.
Saturday marks opening day of trout fishing season, and Central PA fishermen are ready to hit the water.
We do quite a bit in the spring of the year.
But people like David Peters are now part of a smaller group enjoying a longtime Pennsylvania family tradition. Fishing license sales across the state have been slowly dropping since 1990. They bumped up during the pandemic, but overall, people say they don't have time or opportunities to fish.
Fishing is a very common practice here in central Pennsylvania. But over the past decade, Center County has seen a 20% decrease in fisher license registration, meaning that the next generation of fishers isn't coming out.
It'd be better than some of the other activities the young ones take up.
If we let them sit in front of a TV, if we let their Xbox educate them, we're going to have this kind of issue.
That decline also affects businesses connected to fishing, like Lake Woods Outdoor Supply in Howard Township. Owner Dana Martin runs this store with his family. With inflation and more anglers getting older, the store is having a tougher time bringing new people in.
2020 to 21, those were like extreme years. Hoping for another year similar to that this year.
Challenges aside, the excitement of trout season is bringing more people through Dana's doors, like his friend, Jason's son.
Trout season brings everybody out, it really does.
You can drop your line in the water when the season officially opens Saturday at 8 a.m.
Now, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission already stocked over 3 million trout into the Pennsylvania waters, so you can go out to your local river, lake, creek, or even creek if you're from Western Pennsylvania. But reporting in College Township, I'm John Drager for the Center County Report. Back to you guys in studio.
The rain is officially underway here in Happy Valley. If you look closely on our screen, you can see a few raindrops starting to appear on our screen, and that's a sign of some more wet weather to come. Currently here in Happy Valley, temperatures are currently sitting in the low to mid 40s with a light wet south-southwest wind, coming at 5 miles per hour. Temperatures across much of the Commonwealth are now rising into the 40s with a few 50s near the lower Susquehanna Valley, but that warm nose of air is trying to push its way from southwest to northeast later on this evening. So a silver lining there, we are warming up throughout today. Across portions of western Pennsylvania, we have our rain shield moving from west to east, so we are now getting in on some of that rain action. And keep your umbrellas handy because we are going to see a soggy evening commute. Now, it's not just us across central Pennsylvania getting in on some of the wet weather. We're sharing the wealth with the Ohio Valley and portions of the Great Lakes right now, but our low pressure center is still all the way out near the Dakotas, where they are seeing some heavy snow showers near Mount Rushmore. So to plan your evening ahead, we are going to run into some wet weather as you head home from work. So have the windshield wipers up and your umbrellas open, because we're seeing some soggy weather to end our day. But luckily, we do go to bed tonight with some cloudy skies, so the rain has a lull later on, but round 2 begins later tonight. And we could see some heavy rain at times, especially near sunrise tomorrow. But luckily, we see some more in the way of sunshine heading into tomorrow afternoon. Now, tomorrow is the start of trout season, and you would think it would be the perfect day to do so, but with this cold front moving into our neck of the woods, it could bring the threat for some showers and storms. And then behind that, we start to get a lot colder. In fact, we could drop to near freezing tomorrow night. But before that, we'll wake up tomorrow to some temperatures near 60 degrees and then warm up to near 70 by midday. That's thanks to afternoon sunshine. And then after that cold front moves through by Saturday night, we'll drop through the 40s and then near freezing by Sunday morning. So to recap your forecast, State College, today we'll see temperatures in the low to mid 50s with rain beginning now through sunset as winds come out of the south near 15 miles per hour. For tonight, we'll warm up throughout the night with those rain showers continuing overnight. And then for tomorrow, we could see some thunderstorms in the area with highs near 70 degrees. For the rest of our weekend ahead, high pressure dominates our area by Sunday as temperatures drop back to near average. But luckily, the cool weather doesn't last too much longer. We jump back to near 70 degrees midweek. So I think a lot of trees around here are going to start blooming next week.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, I'm glad that I came in today with my coat with a hood, but I'm looking forward to some nice weather next week.
Oh, if it wasn't for all this rain, I would have said it would have been a great weekend for a baseball game. And with that, let's send it over to Dugan Lloyd with sports.
Thanks, Zach. Coming up in sports, spring camp rolls on for Penn State football. We check in for the latest. Also, Nittany Lion basketball has a new head coach. Hear what he had to say upon arriving in Happy Valley. I'm Dugan Lloyd with sports. Penn State men's basketball has hired its new head coach to replace Micah Shrewsbury. Nittany Nation welcomed him with an event at the Bryce Jordan Center yesterday, and our own Anna Camden was there.
I'm a pit bull with manners. I have no problem to say that.
The new Penn State men's basketball head coach wasn't shy during his first news conference as a Nittany Lion. Fans, media, and players turned out at the Bryce Jordan Center to welcome Pennsylvania native Mike Rhodes home.
You know, we're behind Penn State, and, you know, no matter who comes in, you know, we're going to love them up and be there for them.
Athletic Director Patrick Kraft is confident in his new hire's track record.
He's a winner, period. He knows how to win.
In his 6 years at the helm of VCU men's basketball, Rhodes made 3 NCAA tournament appearances and finished with a 72-32 record in the Atlantic 10.
We wanted someone who wasn't going to back down from anything. He was going to go and fight for Penn State every single day, and was going to grind.
Well, Athletic Director Patrick Kraft wanted a fighter, a pit bull, if you will, and head coach Mike Rhodes has every intention of instilling that same mentality in his new players.
We will be blue collar. We will have dirt on our hands, and we'll be damn proud of it.
Rhodes has goals of making the next season of Nittany Lion basketball bold, different, and aggressive. But most of all, he's excited to officially be a Penn Stater.
I'm honored to be your basketball coach.
In University Park, I'm Anna Camden for the Center County Report.
The self-proclaimed pit bull with manners was born and raised in Mahanoy City, Pennsylvania, just 2 hours away from University Park. And with over 2 weeks of practice under their belt, spring football rolls on at Penn State. After a standout freshman campaign, linebacker Abdul Carter enters spring ball with increased expectations. Despite Carter's bright start for the Nittany's, defensive coordinator Manny Diaz sees room for improvement.
Oh, we can get a lot better. And it's sometimes just, you can be a better player making the plays that people don't notice by just being where you're supposed to be for someone else to make a play.
Carter and the rest of the new look Nittany Lions will wrap up spring camp on April 15th with the blue-white game at Beaver Stadium. And on the diamond, State High travels to Phillipsburg, Osceola this afternoon. They're coming off a loss to Mifflin County on Wednesday. Let's take a look. After jumping ahead 3-1 in the second inning, the Little Lions surrendered 3 runs in the third and then another in the fourth. Mifflin County added some insurance in the top of the seventh off the bat of Xavier Smith and then Ryan Kanegi to push their lead to 4. a deficit the Little Lions could not overcome. State College is now 1-2 on the season. In the college ranks, Penn State baseball takes the field yet again at home. The Lions are coming off a big win against Pitt this week. Our own AJ Sisson reports.
Dollar Dog Night is proving itself to be very popular after fans in both blue-white and blue-yellow consumed 1,737 hot dogs in support of their teams.
I mean, if we got to do dollar dogs every night, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get dollar dogs.
However, the real dogs in this game were the Lions from Happy Valley, scoring 11 of their 16 runs in the last 3 innings. And yet another strong showing at home, Penn State is 4-0 when opponents come into town. And no, they have not all been on Dollar Dog Night.
My whole last at-bat with the walk, the whole student section was a-cappelling our PSU chants. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm like, geez, guys, I'm in the box. But it definitely helps. And, I think that's why we've had such good success at home this year.
Well, it's 40 degrees here at Medler Field, and it might be the coldest baseball game I've ever been to, but it didn't stop these bats from heating up. The Panthers rallied to cut their deficit to 2 runs in the 8th inning, but manager Rob Cooper said you have to cast your cold feelings aside and stay focused on the task at hand.
Very, proud of how they handled it. You got to control what you can control, and you just can't control the weather, can't control, a lot of different things, so just stay with what you can.
We know we can compete. You guys saw the Sunday game, it was much better. So hopefully just take what we had going today, move it into Indiana, and so forth.
Reporting in University Park, I'm AJ Sisson for the Center County Report.
After the win, Rob Cooper said he wanted to dedicate the game to his late father-in-law, someone he knew longer than his own father. A fitting way to honor the man he looked up to. That's all we've got for sports. Now back to you guys at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Dugan. What a nice gesture from Coach Cooper. It just makes me that much more excited for baseball season.
And it should be a great year for Penn State baseball.
Coming up next, we head out to the Easter egg hunts across our area. See where you can take the kids for some Easter fun this weekend. Easter is right around the corner, and so is egg hunting season in Center County. There are plenty of fun choices. One of the most popular is the event at Bellefonte's Talleyrand Park that's set for next Saturday afternoon. But there are more happening tomorrow. Those include Calvary Harvest Fields in Boalsburg, Carnival Grounds in Gregg Township, Community Park in Port Matilda, and Blue Course Community Church in State College. Most require an online registration, so get the kids out and have some fun. Zach, have you ever done an egg hunt?
I actually used to dominate, but now I haven't done one in way too long. So that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us next Friday for another local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news and watch our stories on our Center County Report social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great weekend.